All right, hello everyone. We are a couple minutes early yet. Just wanted to welcome everybody that's joining. We're going to just take another minute or so before we get started. All right, we still have people joining. All right, just another minute or so before we get started. All right, about 30 more seconds. Still have quite a few attendees transitioning from the waiting room in. All right, great list, great participation. Okay. Well, good morning and good afternoon to all of our attendees around the globe today. We appreciate your time and joining us for What's New in Capture Suite webinar. We've got a lot to cover today. You know, it's been over a year since we've had one of these sessions. And so we're actually going to step you through 2 releases worth of features. So we're going to go through this rather rapid fire to make sure we're able to get through all of the topics. Just want to encourage everybody to use the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. If you've got any questions, I'll be monitoring those and we will be able to insert those questions during the session. I am Chad Aller, Vice President of Products, and Andrew Lyons is our Software Product Manager. He's going to be conducting the feature overview for us today. So let's go ahead and just transition into the session and get started. All right, so for those of you that are maybe new users of Capture Suite, we never want to miss the opportunity to emphasize Capture Suite's overall capabilities. So the scan module in Capture Suite we know is rather well known, but we wanted to ensure everybody's aware of the capabilities beyond just the scanning piece. So Capture Suite's a fully enabled capture platform that allows you to not only scan documents on an ibml scanner, but also drive third-party scanners as well, and import digital born images as well to put them through the Capture Suite workflow. We're also able to do extensive recognition and extraction classification capabilities within the platform. From there, we can allow our operators to handle exceptions to both of those processes through a quality control and validation module, and then take that purified data image set and move it to the next system in your workflow. We have productized connectors to different ECM backends. We create standard XML files, PDFs. So whatever needs you have in your next system of record, we can integrate with that solution. So during our session today, we're going to touch on enhancements to these different areas of Capture Suite beyond just the scanning module. All right, so I'm going to hand it over to Andrew. He's going to look back a little bit beyond the last 2 releases just to emphasize some of the high-level features that you might have not been aware of, and then we'll dive into the 2024 enhancements. All right, Andrew, take it away.
Thanks, Chad. And good afternoon and good morning to those that are attending today. As Chad mentioned, we're going to go through, we have a lot to cover somewhat quickly, but we can slow down if needed. Ask questions and we'll get those answered as the time permits. All right, so we're going to look back previous to 2024 in case you're a new customer or maybe on an older version. And we're just going to highlight a few features that we've done. We've provided hundreds of features probably over the last 4 years, but we want to just highlight a few of them today that might be important to you. The first one here on the list is a FAJI integration. For those that aren't aware, it's a federal guideline to ensure quality image capture. We see a good bit of this domestically, but we are seeing a transition internationally as well for this type of offering. It uses a third-party verification software and a test target to ensure quality of the scanning device. Our Capture Suite software fully integrates with this third-party application so the operators don't ever have to leave Capture Suite, and it's fully auditable, and it supports other TWAIN devices that might be FAJI compliant. Another feature we want to highlight is remote document scanning. So we understand that the cloud is becoming more prevalent to our customers every day, and we want to be able to support them in their capture needs. So obviously our scanners are very fast, and trying to real-time capture can be difficult when you're scanning across a wide area network to a different part of the country or up to the cloud. So what we've done is we've offered a remote document scanning feature that will store the images and data locally and then copy those up as a background process. We fully integrated with Active Directory, this next feature, where you can map Active Directory groups to your Capture Suite groups. So we've had Active Directory kind of, but really in this release, we did a full integration for that. For quality control, you can now review images that are selected for your post-scan output and make changes quickly. If you are doing color detect and want to make changes, or one image is better than the other, you can quickly change that before it goes to a searchable PDF, for instance. And as we look up to post-scan, we have, in the past, we've had custom development if customers wanted to integrate images from a different source or from a watch folder into an existing batch. Now we've made a user interface for our customers to configure themselves. They can have placeholder documents in the Capture Suite batch, and then post-scan can automatically insert those images, maybe from a wide format scanner or something that wouldn't allow the paper to go down the scanner. We've also added highlighting for scan and quality control. So based on a specific document type, you can change the color of that in the tree, and it brings attention to the operators that might need to focus on a specific type of document, make sure it's captured correctly or that needs attention. We've added concurrent licensing for our quality control, validation, and analytics modules. So now you can install as many times as you want, and different shifts you would purchase the amount of licenses you need for a shift. So you could install it on 9, 10, 15 computers, and only 3 at a time would be allowed to use that. And then Lockbox, feature we added several years ago, but it's worth highlighting for this presentation. So if you have customers that have coupons and you need an easy to add opportunity for coupons based on different customers, drag and drop, rubber band, a scan line, we now support that as well. So that's a quick look back pre-2024. And now I want to take us to what we just accomplished in the last calendar year. If you'll notice at the top of the screen, it has the version in which it was released. Because I'm going through 2 different releases here, if you're on Capture Suite 5.4, you can focus in on those features. If you're on a previous version, we just recommend upgrading to the 5.5. But this gives you a quick view of what version it was released in initially. So we'll start with this first one, is the TWAIN scanning attached to a Fusion scanner. So if you have a Fusion scanner and maybe you want to take a picture of a piece of media that came in the box, You can have a DSLR camera, for instance, attached to the Fusion scanner, maybe even sitting on top near the monitor or on a separate table to the left. Attached to the Fusion, you can switch between scanning on the Fusion and then switch to a TWAIN device to do a single capture of an image or even an auto feed if you have maybe a large format scanner that you need to insert images into the batch. So a single batch, you can switch between two scanners now. And part of the presentation, I'm going to jump between the presentation and the software to give you a better inside look of what that actually would look like. So I'll take the opportunity.
And on related to the TWAIN, if a customer has an image track 6 with Capture Suite, can they use this feature?
Yeah, you can actually use it with any device that you're running scan on. So even if you're running on a Fujitsu scanner, for instance, but you want a DSLR camera, it doesn't matter as long as you have the TWAIN interface installed. It will be available on any device that you want to scan on. So for this presentation, I have a TWAIN scanner hooked up to my simulator, and as you can see, I can feed as if I'm on a Fusion, and then the operator can make a decision to switch to the TWAIN device. And you can see the feed buttons will change because it recognizes this as, a single DSLR camera. So you capture a picture on the front, then you would flip it around and capture the picture on the rear. If it was an auto feed, it would take advantage of that option as well. So again, just a new feature that we want to highlight. This TWAIN scanning, very useful in many opportunities that we are seeing. All right, continue to a few other scan client improvements. I'll go back to the Capture Suite in just a second. We've added two new display options for scan operators. One is the data display, which we've had for a number of years, but we've improved it by adding the ability to use batch input, internal keywords, or custom keywords to be able to show meaningful data to the operator as they're scanning. And another one is a real-time document count. So if they're trying to determine how many items have been scanned in this batch, and maybe it's a very large batch, they can quickly look up at the screen and see that real-time interaction. So you'll see here for my example, I've got the batch input parameter, I've got multiple items. This is completely configurable. You can remove or add based on your needs. And you can see that it'll continue to tick through these as items are added. So a real good opportunity for operators to see real-time information or useful information about a batch while they're scanning. In Scan Client, also, we added the ability for callouts related to image. So we've had callouts before, and this is a way that customers can extend their intelligence in Capture Suite. They can do custom code in certain parts like MICR read or image width and height, barcode reading. In this release, we've added the ability to take those images and give it to another third-party system for verification or any kind of OCR capabilities that might be custom. You can now do that with the front or rear camera and the specific image window. And this extends your capability of Capture Suite to even be more intelligent than it was before. Another scan client feature that we've added is handheld barcode capability. Two new features here related to that. One is you can select a job through a handheld barcode reader. So for instance, if you've got a prep sheet that's got a barcode on it that represents the job name, and you had hundreds of jobs, for instance, you could scan that barcode, it would automatically select the job and get you to the point where you can start feeding. So a lot of less interaction and reduce problems the operator might select the wrong job. Another feature we added was manually creating transactions. So if you had a folder or a plastic bag that had a barcode on it that couldn't be fed down the scanner, what you might want to do is scan that barcode, create the transaction manually, feed the contents inside the folder or the bag, and then start the next transaction, so on and so forth. A few other improvements related to Scan Client. One is the ultrasonic dedouble recovery on the Fusion and the Raptor. We've had this feature for a number of years, but what we did now is give you the ability to turn it off or on without stopping the scanner. So the operator can react more quickly without having any kind of downtime between disabling it or enabling it. Another feature that I'll do my best to explain, but can be complicated, is the PPC support. So PPC is pre-process capture, which we offer on the Fusion scanner only. So if you have a DS scanner or a Raptor that does not support the pre-process capture, we want you to still be able to utilize the pre-process capture on the Fusion and not have to have separate jobs or separate PARM files for the other scanners. So now you can enable this option and it'll use the pre-process capture on the Fusion. And then the other scanners, if it doesn't have that image window available, it will use the next best image window. So if you have a Raptor or you have a DS or even a Kodak scanner and you want to use the same job, it will use the next best window available for those model scanners, grayscale, black and white, and so on. Simplifies your configuration to have single jobs across multiple different scanners. The remote document scanning, we mentioned that earlier in the presentation about a new feature we added several releases ago. We've continued to update that. So for this release, we added the job name to the batch upload utility and to admin console for administrators to see that as well. It is worth noting, and you can see at the bottom of the screen, I have a note. We are urging our customers to update to the latest version of Capture Suite 5.5.2 to take advantage of the full feature set that we've offered over the last few years and to take advantage of the essential product improvements we've made to have the application work as expected. So we are urging our customers to update. So if you're not using remote scanning, we would ask you to upgrade to this latest version. If you are not having not needing to take advantage of these new features, by all means, we're not telling you have to upgrade, but we do urge our customers to stay current as much as possible, especially when it comes to this feature.
Yeah, one additional comment related to the remote document scanning function. We encourage all of our customers that if you're not using this today and you are thinking about it, as Andrew mentioned, this version of software is the best one to use, but we also encourage you to reach out to us to help us make sure that you've got the proper infrastructure in place and proper exclusion set with your antivirus. We've seen customers who have turned this on that didn't solicit our help and ran into some difficulties. And we could have prevented that if you would have contacted our help desk. So just reach out to our support team, support@ibml.com, and they'll be happy to help make sure that you have the right information available to you as you assess the benefits related to this feature.
Yeah, thanks, Chad. That was good. All right, continuing with some administration job setup improvements. You now have the ability to import and export batch input parameters. So previously this came with the job. Now, if you want to target a batch input update across multiple databases, or you ask us to send you an update, we can send you something very targeted versus an entire job, simplifying the process to get this into production and into your environment. We also include optionally the ability to include the database with the export of jobs. And this allows you to import with the database connection if it's the same across multiple environments or you're trying to do a backup of another system. You can include this database configuration, and when you go to import, it can be included and you wouldn't have to have this additional feature to change and select the database connection. So it just simplifies the administration of copying and pasting jobs into different environments. In addition to the previous job setup improvements I mentioned, you now have the ability to copy the scanner to job list. So inside of your job, you can have specific scanners do specific details in the scanner of the job, you now can copy that across multiple jobs versus having to manually recreate that and being error prone. So much easier to manage the scanner to job list. In validation, we have the ability to populate the data that might fail the mask. So in this case, it failed the mask where I had to have 5 numeric digits, but it was above the minimum confidence. So in this case, I would want to populate that data because it's close to being right. I'm just not all there. So the operator wouldn't have to rekey the entire line. In this case, they could replace the pound with a 0 and give them the full read without having to rekey the entire line. So a little more control over what the operator sees to give them a good starting point. Another change in validation is the ability to skip manual validation if a valid value is set. So we have the ability now to set default values. And if the default value passes the mask, then we can bypass the operator intervention. So if you wanted to pass a piece of data to your post scan or to configurable data output or one of our connectors, then you can do that by simply adding a default value, and then you can bypass that from the operator intervention. Administration improvements. We have a few here that I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to jump back to the Capture Suite to give you a quick preview. Through Scan Client, you have a quality control tab. Previously, this was only available on specific scanner models. For this release, we've opened this up to all scanner models as long as you have the proper permission defined and set. So now you have the quality control tab that's available in Scan Client to give you some really quick and useful tools at the scanner without having to go to a QC step necessarily if you need to make minor changes. In addition, we've also added the ability to provide you an XML transformation output. What this does is it's a XSLT extension, and it gives you the ability to use a transformation file to take an XML, our default XML output. You can manipulate that through this transformation file and provide a specific output that you might need without going through additional software or custom development. It just gives you more control without having to have a developer on staff. The next feature is batch administration. We've given our customers the ability to add color highlighting to the batch administration tab to help somebody really focus in on an area where it needs attention. And you can see in the example here, red means bad. We have some errors. Let's focus in and find out what might have happened versus having to read some text. It just gives you a quick insight on that. And I'll jump to the application to give you a quick overview of this. So first we have the quality control tab, now available on all scanners as previously mentioned. And it gives you the ability, you can see the full size images, and you can also switch to the thumbnails. You can do rotation, just a quick review of the batch without having to go through a QC step necessarily if you need minor changes. You'll notice if you're a quality control customer, you do not have all the functions that quality control has. This is a stripped down version for specifically at the scanner. So this doesn't take the place of what a quality control step might be, but it does give you some useful controls right here at the scanner. And then if you look at batch administration, I've added the colors here. I forced one to error just for this video. You can see it's red, and now I would be able to focus on that, especially if you had this maybe on a monitor in your production floor and giving the operators and the executive team, management team, the ability to see what is going on at a snapshot, you would really be able to determine that quickly now. All right, moving right along. A few general improvements to post-scan output. One is we highlighted the feature at the very beginning about auto insert feature that we had for the post scan. Now you can include the rear images on that. So if you set your directory structure up properly, you can not only get the front, but also the rear images as part of that insert capability. We've also added a color option for your image overlay. Image overlay is a feature we've had for years, but now we've given you the ability to choose a specific color. And a part of that, you can choose a color that might have some opacity to it. So it could be opaque and you could see through it so it won't cover up any meaningful data. And I'll just show a quick example. In this one, you can see the image overlay red and the image overlay green. I could change the shading and you have complete control of where that text is and the color of it.
Andrew, a quick interruption here. We had a question related to um, a customer who doesn't own quality control and validation today. How would they get those? So our software is productized in a way that we feel is differentiated from competitive software. And that is we only ask our customers to buy what they need versus having to buy everything and then pick and choose what you need. And so what we've done is we've broken our modules up into this more a la carte style, where if you need quality control and you don't need validation, no problem. We can sell those licenses individually. If you need validation and you want to do some extraction, you can buy the extraction capabilities and the validation stations to be able to handle exception processing. So if you'll just reach out to your account executive or partner, they'll be happy to work with you on providing some product overviews along with pricing.
Good. Good question. We've added audit to our audit setting, the ability to audit the auto import, both imported files and files that might not have imported. Either they had the wrong extension or maybe they were corrupt. We can now audit that information and store it in a separate database to give customers confidence in the process and be able to know when things might have not been imported or imported like they expected.
Andrew, one other question. We've got an inquiry around one of the previous features we talked about, the ability to display additional data for operators during scan time. And the question is, I believe is can you see the image count per document within a batch?
In Scan Client?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is available at the bottom. So if I just open Scan Client, so you have the document count, the transactions, total document count, total images, all that information is here at the bottom.
Yeah, so I think the ask is, I think image, it says image per document within the batch. So I think it's on a document level, the images per document versus per batch. So I think that's what we're showing there is per batch, right?
Yes.
Total images.
So we have reporting that will show that information. You have to drill down because, are you talking about the transaction?
Yes. Yep.
Each transaction could be a different document count. So you almost need a drill down report to be able to show that information, and analytics has that.
Okay. So if there's more clarity required around that question, feel free to chat in some additional requests around that. Okay, thanks.
Yeah, good question. All right, that is highlighted our capture suite changes for 2024. Now we want to transition to Scanner Manager, and this is the software that actually communicates to the scanner, whether it's a Raptor a Fusion, or a DS. We'll start with the Raptor. In 2024, we launched Capture Suite on the Raptor. This was new for us, uh, and it was an opportunity to make this product as seamless it is as the Fusion. So whether you get the Raptor, the DS, or the Fusion, you now can use our Capture Suite product in its entirety without having to be confused about which model you're on. We support these. The install is targeted for those specific models, and the operator gives the full feature set that they need at their fingertips. So that is now available over the last 8 months. In addition, we've added the ability to do dark image cropping. So if you're a customer that either scans photographs now or wants to in the future, we've done some things to make it better for those customers that might have dark borders. If you can imagine the picture I have here on the screen and the transition, you can see the areas in which it didn't crop. It cropped into the image. With this new feature, you can now see the cropping is as expected, that captures the entire image. I will say, if you are trying to do this outside of just the software change, we've made a few hardware changes as well. As you can imagine, these documents will curl, and trying to hold them down on the scanner, we have a kit that we can offer to you that will give you the processing, not only on the scanner, but in the software at the same time, if this is something that you're interested in. And then color dropout improvements. If you're a customer that is pre-Fusion, you have an IT6, an IT5, you're upgrading to one of the new scanner models, we have color dropout but we understand that our customers that are migrated from an older scanner model to the new Fusion, the color dropout is one area that was had a number of differences in the configuration. So we heard the feedback and we wanted to respond to that. How we did that is we offered a very similar configuration that you would have on the IT5, 4, or 6 that would give you this the color contribution mode here at the bottom that allows you to set up your percentages for which color you want to drop out. So you can choose between the color selection mode or the color contribution mode. It helps those customers that are migrating to the latest platform. And then just a few general updates. We now have a new post-scan output timestamp for the images, and this is available in configurable data output, XML output, and it has the custom keywords supported as well. We've updated the .NET framework, the redistributables, the ODBC drivers, and we are OWASP code compliant, which we do for every major release. Twice a year, we go through the code compliance through a third-party company that reviews our software and grades and gives us this verification and scoring. We are also support the latest Windows 11 24H2 that was released a few months back. We have a new host PC that we've introduced for the Fusion. And we have a new host PC supporting Windows 11 for the Raptor. Chad, do we have any more questions?
No open questions at the moment, so we'll give the team a few more minutes to send those in. I did want to conclude by just expressing our gratitude for customers who request enhancements. Basically, all of the things you saw today were generated from needs from our current customer base. And so we encourage everybody to continue to submit those requests to us. We know that, technology is evolving rapidly, and we certainly are here to try to make your problems easier to solve with our technology. And the best way we can do that is to hear about your pain points. So please continue to submit those through our help desk. And we'd love to get any items on the roadmap that are causing you any kind of difficulty today. Let's see, we've got a couple more questions coming in. Does this scanner or software have the ability to create searchable PDFs? Andrew, you want to take that one?
Yeah, sure. It does. And, we sell it by a core basis. If you have SoftTrack PostScan today, um, depending on when you bought it, we have an upgrade kit, but it does come with our PostScan module, a single core. Then you can add multiple cores depending on your volume needs. But yes, we do support that for sure.
Yeah, so if you aren't sure if you have access to that module, again, reach out to your account executive. They'll be happy to help educate you on the modules that you do own and have access to. All right. Concurrent licensing. When an employee joins the person, their workstation names. Right. Sorry about that one. I need to get some clarification on that one. Is there any kind of notification that's sent for version updates? So when these releases are available, how do customers know, in essence, that they are available? We have our website is being updated with the latest versions, but we do have an initiative underway to be more proactive with our customers and notify them when releases are ready. So we need to make sure that the corporate recipients are defined properly. Since you got invited to this webinar, hopefully directly from us, you'll be on the list. If this invite got forwarded to you, please reply back to us and ask us to add you to our distribution list. So that way, when this becomes active, you'll be a recipient of those notifications. All right. Do we have a demo version? Yes, we do. So we have demo instances of all the different modules that we have. Account executives would be happy to work with you, try to understand what problems you're trying to solve and help frame up for you the types of modules that we would recommend for you to give a try. But yeah, we give 30-day copies for customers to play with the software. All right. Any other questions? I believe we've answered all of them. Anybody else? Got a couple minutes left? All right. Well, we're going to wrap this one up. We certainly, again, appreciate the time. If any additional questions do come up that you think of, please feel free to just submit those to the help desk. They'll be happy to respond with answers. And we look forward to seeing you guys in 6 months when our next release is available, where we can highlight exciting new things that are on the way. All right. Thanks, everybody.